welcome to the What You Gonna Want to Do podcast. We have missed y'all.
Yeah,
missed you guys.
I'm
Kevin.
Scotty.
Caleb. Scotty is crazy.
Nice.
I'm not calling you that. I've only ever called you
I
Scotty.
think I've only ever heard your mom call you that.
Yeah, nobody really does.
No one else really does.
No. It was just the last thing I had. After now, it's going to be old boring Scott Weaver.
Wow. I
You
don't
don't
believe
have
you.
to.
You do this every time.
Yeah.
You
I
try to
think
give us this.
I think you'll come
you
up with something.
I think at home you got a scroll that's a mile long that has different variations of the ways you can say your
what's it
name.
called when you have like all the letters and you jumble them up so it says something else?
Serial killer note?
Serial killer note?
Like when you cut out letters from a magazine?
Is it an anagram?
Oh, an anagram. Well,
Is that what it is?
yeah.
You could do that next time.
Okay, I'll do an anagram.
Take your
good.
name, scramble it up so that you can make a different name out of it.
I don't do anything with grams except for Teddy Grams. Get down on that pretty buddy.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could actually make your name Sean with
And
a different
still,
spelling.
That's true.
Or no, with the same spelling as your brother.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway. We're glad to be back.
What? What just happened?
With doing an anagram.
Was this a different show?
with his whole name.
Full name, yeah.
Oh, well, just let me know when you want to start.
All right.
We're back.
We've got our first ever
Oh, that was a weird segment I wasn't ready for.
We've got our first ever fan made merch.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's exciting.
So I will show you this picture of this shirt. It was made by one of our biggest fans. She calls herself Bonnie.
You call her mom.
I do call her mom.
Aw.
I call her grandma. She is our biggest fan.
She is our biggest
and
fan.
Also,
I
some
call
would
her
argue.
my second mom.
Yeah, I call her grandma, and some would also call her maybe our only fan.
Someone call her
Yeah, maybe the one fan we got.
our only fan.
Could be.
Yeah.
The one and only Bonnie Clark. And but when we say one and only, we mean the one and only person who watches this show. And if you're not Bonnie Clark and watching this, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Hit the subscribe.
Yeah, smash the punch the bell, slap the like button. I don't know what you do.
You'll figure it out.
Call a buddy.
Silas has a bone to pick with her, though, about the shirt. He doesn't like the fact that
the credits on there.
Yeah, he has a strong disagreement over who's listed as the producer.
Yeah.
Which, I mean...
Because he is the producer.
Yeah.
He's the everything on this show. I'm just the talent. Me and Scott are just the talent, and Dad's just the one who came up with it.
Thank you so much.
I make you feel pretty warm inside.
I do. I feel all cozy.
This winter
Thanks, son.
evening. Thanks, son.
Let's be honest. Our 2.5 viewers are here for me and you. All right.
2.5 viewers. Which, if that's even true, is not really that much, really, from the creator. We're only 2.5 viewers.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, especially when the two people who bring people into the show we aren't watching it.
Good to know.
Scott. We just told Scott last week that we put this on the internet. He didn't.
He just thought we've been sitting in the living room talking.
He thought the camera was weird. Sure.
I don't know why they're doing that.
Why
is there a microphone?
He didn't think anything about the Notebook because this is just how my dad does conversations.
He was so many years being friends. I thought he was changing it up by doing like live.
He was really confused when I had him reading ads and stuff.
Yeah, the Notebook made sense because this is just how Dad gets into topics. But
I always pull one out in the middle of a conversation. Well,
you know what I've been thinking about? What's up with this?
This is an idea I had.
This is an idea.
Here's something. Did you know about these top 10 songs on the day you were born? Huh?
The day you were born, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, let's get into it.
We could do that.
No, we could do that. We could do that.
Well, this week we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to our hearts.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
The Big Ten Conference.
Oh, big fan of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Have been.
Scott probably doesn't realize this, but Caleb often fancies himself as the commissioner of the Big Ten.
I just want a shot at it.
I just want a shot.
He has all kinds of grand ideas.
I do. I got
and
a lot of
honestly,
dreams.
he gets it. He gets it honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't deny. He
Yeah.
gets it honest.
I do.
But a little background on the Big Ten. It wasn't originally called the Big Ten.
Oh.
Well, this is news to me.
When it first
I didn't
formed,
know. Yeah.
there were only 7 teams.
Well, that makes sense that they didn't come out the gate
Yeah,
thinking
you
that
can't
3
be the
more were
Big
going to
Ten.
happen.
You can't be the Big Ten when you don't have.
Were they the small 7?
The small.
They were actually known as the Western Conference.
Oh.
They started in 1895.
God, we got away from that. That's boring.
Do you?
Western Conference.
The only thing that can make it more boring is putting 2 directions in it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you know what the original 7 teams were?
The Buckeyes.
No, afraid not.
No. Wow. Notre
Michigan?
Dame.
Notre Dame wasn't in there.
No, they've never
been in a conference.
I thought maybe they started out.
Although they are unofficially somehow attached with the ACC.
Really?
Michigan was one of the original ones.
Oh, really?
Okay. Indiana?
No.
Wisconsin.
Okay. You're pulling our... Listen, just tell us. You know,
Wisconsin.
Was Wisconsin?
Yep.
Purdue.
One of them is no longer a Big Ten.
Oh,
Yeah,
team.
Chicago.
University of Chicago.
Okay.
And they were kind
They
of...
don't even have a team anymore.
They were kind of the one... They were kind of one of the ones that had the idea to form it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then they had another idea about not doing football.
Do it anymore.
Their second idea was, let's not do football.
Let's not. Yeah, after a second, then.
The
Glad we got
other,
this conversation.
Purdue. He said Purdue.
Purdue was,
Hey, all right.
Illinois
Oilers
was,
up, baby.
Oh, Illinois. Okay.
Minnesota, Northwestern,
Oh,
so we
two
can't.
directions,
Never mind.
yeah, you were going with that. Yeah.
and Wisconsin. And then
When did the Buckeyes join?
1899, Indiana and Iowa joined.
Oh gosh,
Oh, wow.
this wasn't even
We
a conference for a
didn't
while.
join.
Late
This
adapters.
wasn't even a conference.
We didn't join until 1912.
Really?
And that's when it got big.
It still wasn't the Big Ten yet,
But that's 10.
because Michigan left in 1908.
Are you kidding?
It's some sort of a
Didn't
weird
they
come
protest.
back? Didn't come back till 1916.
Where are they playing? Hard to
So-
get.
Michigan always spoils everything.
Yeah, they're the worst.
And then
1912. That's a while. I thought maybe it was.
so once they came back, we're the Big Ten.
100 years after the war,
Chicago left in 46,
and
46.
and they left
and then we
hard.
became the Big Nine.
They
Big
switched their name
Nine.
to the Big Nine.
Yep, because until 1950, when Michigan State joined,
Oh,
and
okay.
then we became the Big Ten.
The old Sparties. Huh?
Yes. And then we didn't add another team until 1990.
We've already said them, haven't we?
Except for
wasn't it?
one. Except for
We said the team though. We've said all the teams.
you didn't say this one.
Penn State,
Penn State.
Yeah.
the
Right at
Nittany
Penn
Lions,
State.
The Nittanies.
and that's why for a little while in the old Big Ten logo,
Yes.
the number 11 was hidden in it.
That was kind
That
of.
was a
that's a
pretty
classic.
cool.
That was.
That's
That
a
was a pretty
classic
cool
yeah,
logo.
I loved it.
Big Ten's
I did
always
too.
had, I would argue, the best logo of any conference.
That was awesome.
Well,
that was really cool.
Now
And
it's
then
still cool.
we've had the coolest commercial
Oh yeah,
where they show all the stadiums and go across
Oh,
the country.
that's a beautiful one. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
Isn't that a great one? That's
so
awesome,
good.
man.
No, and and it's
I always
coast-
look forward
it's
to
coast
seeing.
to coast now.
Yeah, that's great. I love the way it goes.
It's America's conference.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Great.
In 2011, we added Nebraska, who actually
He's saying it like he's in this.
we're the commissioners now.
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
If I want to be commissioner, why are you? How are you?
We're co.
Just co.
Assistant
Tri-head chair?
commissioner. We're assistant commissioners.
Assistant
Assistant to the commissioner.
to you, yeah. We're just assistants to you.
Nebraska had tried to join in 1900
Oh,
and
really?
again in 1911.
Oh, wow.
And we probably should have let him in sooner. Because hear me out. now wasn't the time.
Right. They haven't done nothing since.
That's
I
true.
love you, Nebraska. Do better.
Do better. Yeah.
Just try. Remember when you were good?
Yeah.
Do that
Or
again.
you join?
Remember when I was like,
Before you join.
Yeah.
remember when I was still like in elementary school and you were
Yep.
playing good football? Try that now.
Yeah, you're right. I
Something
mean,
to think about.
they'd always been good up until, well,
My adulthood.
recently.
Yeah.
Till they join.
Until I hit puberty, you know. Like, let's be worth.
In 2014, Maryland and Rutgers joined.
Yeah.
The old
And
Maryland
then this
Rutgers.
past year, 2024, UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington. So we now have 18 teams in the Big Ten. Caleb, you're gonna
We can claim Jackie Robinson as the Big Ten.
Yeah.
be surprised at this.
I don't think I'll be surprised if you think I am.
Technically, Notre Dame is a Big Ten team. They're affiliated in both lacrosse and hockey.
Really?
Yes.
Those are two not real
Yeah, I
sports.
was right.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Well,
And they considered joining in 1926.
They need to join. They
We'll get to that.
quit messing around.
We'll get to that. So we'll get to it right now. Caleb.
So subtle.
Well, we're gonna get to it right now.
Caleb wants to expand the Big Ten.
Oh, even further.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the process, he also wants to expel a couple teams.
I knew it.
If you could expel any two teams from the Big Ten, Scott, who would they be?
Oh, that'd be Rutgers and let's see, Maryland.
Man, we're in agreement.
yeah.
Gotta
That's what
be.
Caleb has done.
I
Gotta
didn't-
be.
I don't think I wanted him when we got him,
Yeah.
and I definitely don't want him now. They've not gotten better.
No,
they
you're
came
right.
in under
They
the
haven't
guise of
gotten
being they can get football done, but they were going to be basketball schools. And
Yeah.
I got news for you. They're not good at either sport.
They haven't done it.
Yeah,
And
they really haven't done it
and-
in basketball either.
No.
for our audience to know, we're mainly concerned with football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
we
know.
like basketball.
Is there conference? Is there fans of? There's another college sport.
I mean, that's what we care about more than anything else.
Yeah.
Is football,
Oh, yeah.
college football.
College football. Love it.
So, after he's expelled Rutgers and Maryland, Caleb wants to add the following teams. Are you ready for this,
This
Scott?
would be interesting. This would be awesome.
Army,
Army. Nice.
Navy,
Those take the place geographically of
Of the
Maryland
yeah,
and Rutgers.
that's
Air
awesome.
Force,
Air Force, getting all the armed forces in.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame,
Notre Dame.
Iowa State,
Yeah, they should have been in.
Why was already there?
Washington State,
They should have came over.
Oregon State,
Yeah.
and Pitt.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah,
And this will take
Old
us up.
Panthers.
This will take us up to 24 teams.
yeah. That's all I'm asking.
I like it.
Yeah.
I want to
And-
see the new commercial.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like a
Beautiful. Yeah. You have to take out two commercial slots.
That's some good stuff.
But-
Though. I like
Yeah.
it.
He's getting ready to get into
So
the reason I did this.
Currently, the Big Ten has protected matchups that, and for the most part, these happen last game of the season, like
during
Us.
rivalry
Rivalry.
week.
Yeah.
us.
Ooh, that's
and-
a hard word to say.
Rival. Yeah.
Rivalry week.
Yeah, it is a little tough. You can get
and the
Rivalry
biggest
week.
rivalry in college football,
Maybe
maybe
sports.
all of sports.
yeah, all sports.
Unless you're ESPN and it's baseball.
Yeah, and they think it's
And it's
Yan-
a Sunday
Yankees
night.
and the Red Sox.
It's every Sunday
They
night.
schedule them.
Do you know
for
how often
every-
they play? Apparently,
Yeah, that's what I
every
was gonna
Sunday
say.
night.
How could you
Sunday
say
night.
that in baseball? They play each other so often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what they
every
do.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
not
don't
even-
think I think they play like 17 one-game series because they play each other every Sunday night.
Every Sunday night.
What's the
Sunday night
game on Sunday night baseball?
baseball?
Oh my
Yankees.
gosh, how
Yeah.
are the Yankees and Red
How's
Sox
that
playing again?
That's not a true rivalry.
No.
There's not the specialness behind it.
No, it happens too much.
When you
That's
when you
wrong.
play how many 162 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
And
100.
82 of them are against.
82 were
Oh, it's only 82 because it feels like 100.
feels like 100.
And they're every
Of
single
the
one of them's
162 games.
and every single one of them's on a Sunday night.
The doggone Sunday night with those Yankees and Red Sox.
Oh,
Always
look at
happens.
that. Who's on again? It's the Yankees and the Red Sox. Boo.
I hate both of them.
Yeah,
I
I
do
don't care
too.
for 'em.
The Red Sox were. I know we're getting way off topic. The Red Sox were more. They were more enjoyable as an organization before they broke the curse.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same with the Cubs.
No, Cubs were
Well, I
never
hated
enjoyable.
the Cubs before, but
Cubs were never enjoyable.
yeah,
You know what? Back when they had that Henry Rowan Gardner,
yep,
he was something.
he was
Yeah.
quite the rookie.
Yeah, one of the year potentially.
Yeah. All right.
What a great documentary.
No, I love all the picks. That's great.
Yeah. Well, some of the other matchups they have is Indiana and Purdue.
Right there in the same state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And-
That's perfect.
There's some asterisks in here that we'll get to as well. Iowa and Nebraska, Minnesota and Wisconsin, Northwestern and Illinois, UCLA and USC now,
Beautiful.
Oregon and Washington now.
Oh, good.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Geographically.
absolutely.
Also, Michigan and Michigan State are protected
So they have to play every
matchups,
year.
so they have to play every year,
Beautiful.
as
Yeah.
well
Oh, yeah.
as Iowa versus Minnesota,
I didn't know that was a rivalry.
Iowa versus Wisconsin.
I was out here picking fights with
I
everybody.
know it.
I was like,
And-
you want to play? Come on, come at me. Yeah.
Purdue and Illinois, and our former Big Ten teams, Rutgers and Maryland, also protected.
Why-
So protected.
That's only protected because they didn't have anybody else to play.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
There's only one team that doesn't have a traditional
Oh.
rival,
Who?
Penn State.
Penn State.
And that's why.
And Caleb has remedied this.
That's
So
why Pitt comes into the picture.
our new
Perfect. Pitt.
conference.
Are these the protected
okay.
games?
These are the protected games. You still got Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You got Purdue and Indiana,
Nice.
Illinois and Northwestern,
Yep.
Wisconsin and Minnesota, USC and UCLA. Now you've also got
Listen
the
to
Big
this.
Ten game.
Listen
This
to
is
this.
now a big.
This
is now a Big Ten
Okay.
game.
Okay.
Army versus Navy.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
How great a rivalry!
We got
that
we
would be
got the
awesome.
best rivalry in maybe all sports with OSU and Michigan, and maybe the most storied rivalry.
Yeah.
Army Navy.
Oh, that's
The pomp.
beautiful.
The circumstance.
I love it.
I mean,
The
I
pomp,
mean-
the circumstance.
There's one football game that a president will show up to.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's Army Navy.
That's Army Navy.
And under this, it's a Big Ten game. How awesome!
That's awesome. That's you spend a lot of time with
I
this thing.
did spend. And this isn't. I would love.
That's awesome. though.
Scott. I'd love to sit here and tell you that I've only done this once. I think I've done this every other year for maybe the last decade.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Have you submitted anything?
No, they don't. Well, they never answer the calls. You know, I'm calling them.
Yeah, the road right. They're picking up.
6, 1, 4. I'm assuming that's their area code when they call. You know, OSU.
We're in Columbus.
Yeah.
I love
I think the
it.
headquarters is either
Oh,
Indiana
no, Warren.
or Indianapolis or Chicago.
Oh, well, I'm sure you get through. If you call Columbus, they're
You'll
gonna
get
patch you
there.
through.
They'll catch you. I love
So I should have went operator.
operator.
Yeah. But we also have these new rivalries. We have Notre Dame and Michigan State.
Which is already a
State,
rivalry.
yeah.
It was a rivalry.
Michigan State doesn't have a real. Who was their protected rivalry before?
They have a protected game against Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah. But
And-
what's their end of the who are they playing in rivalry week? Do they not? They don't have a rivalry week component.
I gotcha.
They don't.
You know what?
Not a real
No,
one.
they don't.
Now they
will.
Yeah.
And do you realize how many of these teams? I don't know. This might be something. If by bringing Notre Dame in the conference, you got any of this?
Yeah, I got all
Okay,
this.
cool.
We'll get to
I
this.
won't get into it. Though.
We
'Cause
also
that's good
have
stuff too. I mean,
right
this
now
is
we
so-
have Oregon.
This is really
and
well thought out.
Washington, but we also we'll now have Washington State and Washington.
That's beautiful.
We'll have Oregon and Oregon State,
See, that's awesome.
Iowa and Iowa State, who I think play every year
Don't
at the
they
beginning of the
play?
season
Yeah.
anyway. Now it's a rivalry
and
game.
the Cyclones are always one of those sneaky good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've had some decent teams.
We watched them this year and we were really impressed with their quarterback.
Yeah, and you know what? We already have Northwestern in the conference. They can't be worse than them.
We have this one might be a little forced, but geographically it works well.
Okay.
Nebraska and Air Force
Okay. Yeah.
would be the rivalry week.
You got
game.
Colorado.
And
you got
finally, Penn State has a rival with in-state Pitt.
I think that's brilliant. There.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They should have had them in here. I don't understand that
Why-
at all.
That makes sense to me. And why Notre Dame hasn't joined is just it's a pride thing. Which
they
they
still
read the
say
same
a lot
Bible we
of
do.
it.
Well, there's a couple different books, but the overall message is the same.
Yeah, it's pretty much
But pride, I think that's pretty. We all think that's probably not the best.
That's not good. I love it. I love the reading
And they're trying to play their own brand.
That's what Notre Dame.
And you know what?
The TV thing, I think.
Back when Sean Astin was playing for him.
Back when Sam Wise.
Yeah, when Sam Wise was not only carrying Frodo, but carrying the Notre Dame football team.
Not only was he carrying Frodo, but he was carrying
he couldn't carry the ring. Remember?
No, he couldn't.
But he could carry him.
He could. That's awesome.
Oh man,
I love it. I love it. A little LOTR.
Yeah, I love Lord of the Rings.
But
But I also love Big Ten football. and I need Notre Dame. Listen, as a brother in Christ, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Join the Big Ten. What do you got to lose?
That's true. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not going to keep you out of the. It's not going to keep you out of the playoffs. It's going to help your chances.
It's going to help you probably
because you're independent. You lose a couple games and people forget you're even there. But you come to the Big Ten. Listen, you come to the Big Ten. You lose a couple games. It's okay. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You can still get in there because you're going to be part of one of the best conferences, if not the best conference.
Right.
And if we make these changes, no question, it's the best conference.
Yeah. And who couldn't use We just talked a little humbling. Right?
Yeah, right.
A little bit.
And it's now I don't know where this. Obviously, we're recording this at a different time, but take a look at the. I would say take a look at the playoffs.
Oh,
well,
there's a good chance.
How many?
It's a good chance. We don't know. We don't know what the national championship looks like right now.
No, but how many teams just being in it? We had what?
Yeah, just being in it.
4 Big Ten teams.
Oregon, Ohio State,
Indiana,
and
Penn State.
And listen, Notre Dame, if you were in it, that'd be 5.
Michigan
does not.
They didn't go this year.
Oh, that's right. But they beat Alabama.
They did beat
an
Alabama.
SEC team.
And the Big Ten has looked pretty good
and they look good against SEC teams.
I guess
Ohio State looked really good against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really good.
You know what? And I think maybe, and I don't want to belittle Tennessee. They have one of the best seasons they've had since a Manning wore their jersey, but maybe stick to women's basketball.
Is that a hot take or just?
I don't
feel like you've got the evidence to kind of back.
Well, I think traditionally their women's basketball team is way better. So maybe quit. Let's quit. They should go.
Definitely don't come rolling into Columbus like you own the place.
Oh yeah,
and maybe
they were taking over our bars. And
no word.
Maybe take a look at what Chicago did.
They took over our doggone jukeboxes.
That's right.
They're playing the daggone meatball song, or what is that? On top of Old Smoky.
Yeah.
On top of Old Smoky. Listen, Tennessee, don't rock the jukebox. Wait, that doesn't. Maybe rock. Hang on, Sloopy.
Hang on, Sloopy.
We're still going to guarantee the games like with Purdue and Illinois, the Iowa and their 25 rivals, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Nebraska.
Does Iowa know for it to be a rivalry every once in a while they have to beat the other team? Listen, I love you, Iowa. I think you got a good logo.
They've actually been beating these teams lately.
Yeah, and I think when I was in high school, our team kind of ripped off their look. I don't think you got a great
ours too.
I think
we had between that and Pittsburgh.
But I think you got a great look. I think you got a great aesthetic. Iowa seems it's a Big Ten type state, blue collar.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna say for me,
get it together though.
I know your second favorite Big Ten.
Try to get some offense to score some points.
Caleb's second
favorite
Big Ten team is
the Boilermakers, baby.
Purdue. He likes
know what it is.
For me, I would probably say Iowa because of the color scheme matches what our high school color scheme was. I've kind of always liked them because of that.
That's cool.
Hawkeye.
I like the Hawkeye helmet. That's awesome.
Now when Izzo was at Michigan State, it was hard to not like Michigan State. They were just so good. And not only that, but they'd come into Izzo as the football coach, yeah? Or am I thinking of the basketball coach?
Yeah, I think that's the
basketball coach.
Basketball coach, isn't it?
Gosh dang it, what was his name?
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name. But I can.
This isn't a good look. Anyways, when he was there, not only were they really we're gonna have to cut this because this is gonna they're not gonna let me be the commissioner.
We're gonna have the graphic on the bottom saying who it is.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. We'll get the graphic across the bottom here with the name of his actual name and maybe a picture of him.
Yeah.
Coaching them.
Yeah.
In a big game.
Yeah.
A clip maybe.
Yeah.
Too.
Clip.
Yeah.
And but when he was there, they were perennial a good team.
Right,
making big bowls.
Yes, yeah, they were.
Sometimes beating Ohio State.
I've always held a grudge against them, and I don't know if we ever told the story about was it my 30th or 31st birthday? Ohio State had just lost to Michigan State. We were having a great year. We were undefeated up to that point. We were going out for dinner on my birthday.
And that's when
Scott and I are belly aching about this game. How blew our whole season.
Like you do. I mean, you get disappointed.
And we're cruising along.
You're going to blame Michigan State for this?
Yes, because this is what our conversation was about. And we're in the middle lane, and all of a sudden, hey, isn't that your exit? And
that was the last words we heard.
I looked, and there was no one in the right-hand lane, so I just cut it. And I hit the little strip of sidewalk, kind of like a median.
Yeah, sort of.
Now it's a wall, so I wouldn't have been able to go through
it was
the wall.
but
it was like a 4 inch high, almost like a sidewalk. Hit it blew out the front tires. We go airborne.
Both front tires.
I apologize.
He apologized.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Like almost in midair. I'm sorry.
Mark D'Antonio.
That's it.
He was a great footballer.
Yes, he was.
And the other thing I liked about him, I also kind of hated it, but if Ohio State didn't go after a guy in Ohio that was a good football player, he would swoop down from that state up north, and he would come pluck him up and take him, and he'd turn him into Brian Hoyer. One-time Cleveland Browns starter.
That's right. Yeah.
Was from the Cleveland area, and he
was a good coach. He really was
very good.
Just hopped down and picked him up. But yeah,
we are also going to guarantee games. We got the Army, Navy, Air Force, so Air Force gets games with both of them.
Yeah,
they can still have their Commander-in-Chief Cup.
Oh, nice.
Because think about it.
I know.
Big Ten. How many different trophies is Big Ten?
Yeah, they got all kinds.
We got the Ellebuck trophy with Illinois. It's like
Paul Bunyan's axe.
Yeah, it's like a turtle.
Yeah. Did I not sound like I said axe?
Yeah, you said.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, it sort of to me. It's just my ears to blame.
Definitely,
it's not
Paul Bunyan's axe.
Axe.
Yes.
Definitely.
Axe.
Who would want the other?
Nobody
wants that.
That was his ox. You got confused.
That's right.
Wrong type of beast of burden.
Beast of burden
was what you were thinking.
You don't want that kind of burden.
There's the little brown jug, which is I think it's Michigan and Wisconsin, maybe.
Little brown jug I thought Illinois was in the little brown jug debate.
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember.
Who was the one? And that one's based on they beat one of them beat the other one. And they left their water jug
Oh, is that what it's
And they're
about?
like, hey, can you send us the water jug back? And they're like, you have to beat us next year, and we'll give it back to you.
That's how that started.
Yeah, that's how that started.
That's pretty cool. Hey, what's that one?
Michigan and Minnesota.
That's what I was going to say. It's the Minnesota.
Yeah.
Michigan and Minnesota.
That's the one. I was going to say, what's the one with Minnesota? Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
But then we also have Notre Dame coming in. They have a traditional rivalry with USC. Mm-hmm. They have a rivalry with Michigan as well as Michigan State. So you got that. They are in Indiana. So there's, an in-state rivalry with Indiana and Purdue.
You start getting that going.
So
and they usually play at least one of the armed forces teams.
I think they play both.
That's awesome.
There's 3.
Well, yeah.
We can't.
They play Army and Navy.
The Navy. Yeah, they don't play Air Force.
Yeah, Air Force.
Yeah.
I mean, Air Force plays Army and Navy.
But we love you, Air Force. And
yes,
we
want you in.
Big Ten.
Yeah.
And we'll let you play Nebraska.
In
And Army and Navy. And the rest of the Big Ten teams.
Well, yeah.
On a rotating
schedule, of course. Yeah.
And I mean, these schools, suffer a little bit because of the high standards they have.
Yeah.
But we have Northwestern,
who we suffer.
But they have.
We suffer Northwestern here.
They have very high academic.
Yeah.
Which, oftentimes hurts them. A lot.
It hurts us to watch.
But there you have it.
Hey, we didn't make that situation up.
No.
You are a school that wants to rely on academics,
That's
and you're
right.
less interested.
You want to be smart,
and that's fine. But you got to reap the.
You got to get thumped on the football field every year.
And you know what? But you know what? I can hear it. I can hear the whispers out there already of people saying, "Why didn't you drop Northwestern from the conference?" And I don't know if you were listening, but they're a founding member of this organization.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Rutgers, Maryland, Johnny come latelys.
Yeah, Johnny come latelys, and they're bad.
Yeah,
and they don't bring academia.
No, they don't.
Those people.
You had the original.
No.
Wait a minute. We going there?
I didn't say that.
This seems early.
That does not reflect the views of everybody on the podcast.
We want him to leave.
Oh yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.
But yeah.
That may have been a bit hard.
But also, maybe your other question is, but why are you keeping give me one other good reason that you're keeping Northwestern. Well, everybody gets a win. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you get a win.
Everybody's got a.
You want to. Everybody needs a conference win.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're right.
Well, you'll have
They're
Northwestern.
right. They're in the heart of it all.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
most
not
of the Chicago area.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a part of this. Like you guys said, they were the part of the Super 7.
It's good. Is it going to be?
That's what I'm calling them.
Yeah.
It started.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like
the
that.
Super
Scott.
7.
Yeah. And is it going to be hard for them to be the third best team in Illinois in the Big Ten? Probably. It'll be tough. But
I don't think so.
Maybe a distant third.
They'll just.
No, it's not just two. Just two. There's just two.
No, they'll just.
But if Chicago came back, I'm still counting
Chicago.
I'm still counting Chicago in this.
Chicago.
And Chicago somehow without a football team still better than Northwestern with a football team.
I think.
Do you ever think Northwestern looks at what Chicago did and they're like, we should have done
Why
that.
didn't we do that?
should have done this.
And then on the other hand, they kind of look at it
were we
sometimes and they're like, it kind of feels like we did do it. On the other hand,
But we love you, Northwestern.
We love you.
Please don't leave.
and we appreciate
But we love you.
we appreciate that you have a coach that's a former player.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
that's
We think
cool.
that's cool, and we think it's cool that you keep him around, even though he's sub 500 every year. But it's tradition.
every once in a while they'll pop up and have a pretty good year.
Yeah, once
Yeah.
in a while
Go to
they'll
a
put
bowl.
something together. Yeah.
They'll have some. They'll have a group of guys that feel like they could maybe have walked on somewhere,
Yeah.
and they go out and get things done. But this isn't a trash Northwestern. We appreciate what you've done, and we
Definitely
thank you. We thank you for starting the conference again. It's going.
They just play, they're intelligent
Yeah.
folk there.
Yeah.
And they just happen to play mediocre football.
Yeah, sometimes bad football, but but in doing this, we're not only just looking at bringing in Notre Dame. We're trying to make not the Big Ten, not just the biggest conference, but the most powerful.
I love that. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it the biggest conference, just the most powerful.
Yeah, and I think this does.
I think that sets it all.
I totally agree.
I love it. I mean, love it all.
And this
That's perfect.
I would argue pretty much all these teams have that Big Ten feel.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Especially, now that Oregon and Washington are there.
It changes the flavor of the Big Ten a little bit, but now we're bringing
UCLA and USC, throwing those other two former.
Yeah, now that we have
Pac-12
those,
teams.
that opens that for their opponents. Like you put it, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
like
and then
Washington State
and adding the Armed Forces academies.
Yeah, that's
that,
pomp.
That's
And
just awesome.
circumstance.
And the tradition of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And which really should have been.
If you put a gun to my head and say, name a team that's the most Big Ten but isn't in the Big Ten conference, it's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Should have been there all along.
And I think by doing this, we're also throwing down the gauntlet to say, SEC, you do it too. There's other teams that you could get and would make sense because you're missing out on some rivalries too. We're not the only ones.
Yeah.
You could go scoop them up, and then it'll just be us at the end of the season. It'll be you and it'll be us, and we'll figure this out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
mean the North versus the South?
North versus the
South. Yeah. And we'll say Pac who,
Yeah.
AC what?
There's only two Pac.
Oh, Pac-12.
There's only two Pac-12 teams.
Pac-2.
Oh yeah, what's that?
It's a 2-pack.
It's a 2-pack. It's the 2-pack.
2-pack. He's not just a deceased rapper anymore.
He's become relevant again.
Yeah, you got Pac who, AC what?
Well,
ACC's
still going to be a basketball conference.
Oh, that's true. You got to think about it.
Yeah, but there will be no whispers of what ACC team's going to make the playoffs because it will only be Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah,
because whatever. If you're looking at a football team in the ACC and you think that's a pretty good football team, they will have joined the SEC if the SEC accepts our challenge.
We've thrown down the gauntlet.
We accept our challenge. I love it. That's awesome.
I'm just trying to
accept our challenge.
Yeah, I just want to make college football the best it could possibly be.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And college football is better when the Big Ten's the best conference.
Oh,
I mean, would you argue that college football is really good right now?
Yeah,
I would say, why is that?
It's because we're so good.
I think it's because the Big Ten is.
The Big Ten's always, to me, there is no other conference as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
There is no argument right now. Who's your darling? Texas? No. I'm gonna eat crow on that, but I don't think I'm going to because I've seen the play. I've seen the play on the field, and it ain't there, boys. Quinn Ewers.
If you're listening,
comments,
yeah.
If you have some thoughts on who you would add, keep it to yourself because I kind of worked really hard on this and I don't really care.
That's right. He's been a lot of time.
We'll hear it.
Oh, we'll hear it, but we'll ignore it.
We'll dismiss it outright. Just like that guy that tried to sell water steam cars.
Yeah,
that's right.
Steamboat Willie when he tried to sell us the car.
I wonder if that guy's doing any good. After he promoted himself on our channel
to possibly a dozen people or more. But that being said, we're glad to be back.
Yeah,
rolling. Comment on X, email us, leave a comment
button
in the comment section.
Yep, we'll catch on. We'll catch on the back end of this.
That's right.
Pray for us in the new year. We'll pray for you guys out there. We need to keep this rolling for a while.
Yeah.
I got loans.
25.
Got loans, man. I got people that I owe money to.
So we're back, and we're going to finish up Hebrews 11 and the beginning of chapter 12 today. So when we started off
reading the entire book of Hebrews.
Reading the entire chapter.
Oh, it felt like
a little bit. But the first verse gives us a definition. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And then moving in to verse 2, for by it the people of old received their commendation. And we went through all the people listed in this, which it's known as the Hall of Faith. And the more I've studied since the last time, I don't think Paul was referring to New Testament people in any of, the latter part where he talks about that, because he would have been talking to those people. He wouldn't have been
fair.
He wouldn't have really been referencing them. Yeah. Although the things that transpired to those people obviously happened to a lot of the New Testament people. And I looked up, we'd referred to it before, about how each of the disciples had died, and there's more than one list, so there was a little bit of variance from list to list, but overall all of them agree on Peter, which we know he was hung upside down on a cross because he felt he was unworthy to die in the same manner as Christ. Andrew was crucified as well, and most likely either in Turkey or Greece. Thomas was speared to death by soldiers. Philip was possibly crucified. Another list I saw just said he was cruelly put to death. Matthew, stabbed with a spear. Bartholomew, there's also numerous accounts on him, but most likely he was crucified. James, son of Alphaeus, was stoned and clubbed. Simon the Zealot was killed in Persia, most likely stoned for refusing to sacrifice to the sun god. Matthias, he was the one who took the place.
Cast lots for him.
Yes, who took the place of Judas. He was either burned or stoned. John, the only one who didn't die a martyr's death, but he was boiled in oil and somehow survived it, was sent to the Isle of Patmos, where he had the revelation of Jesus that he wrote. James, the son of Zebedee, was beheaded, and Paul himself was beheaded. But it didn't stop with them. Christians throughout the ages have suffered, martyr's death, even down to the present day. On average, 13 Christians a day lose their life for their faith. And 90% of the Christians who die in modern day times are killed in Nigeria, where there's a large population
that are 90% of the martyrs. You mean?
Yeah,
because you just said died.
Of martyrs.
Martyrs
are in Nigeria.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, as we said, we've discussed, all those heroes of faith that are listed, and now we're down to the final 2 verses of chapter 11. And all of these, though commended through their faith, did not receive what was promised. And Caleb, you have a verse in Revelation.
Yeah, Revelation
6:11.
Then they were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow servants and their brothers should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been.
And this is talking about, final judgments. These are the martyrs throughout the years. And if you go back to the beginning of that paragraph that's in, it talks about them being under the altar and them crying out to God, how long, before you avenge our blood? And that's what they're told to wait, So even though we see people still being martyred today, that's part of what, it's almost the promise, that that's going to happen. And, as heartbreaking as it is, we've talked about before, we live in safety here, but, other places of the world, it's not so. So, verse 40, since God had provided something better for us, that apart from us, they should not be made perfect. And that's referring to them. And then chapter 12, the first 2 verses goes right along with the rest of, chapter 11 itself. And so that's where we're going to finish up. Verse 1, therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. And Scott, you have a verse in Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 9:24 says, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it.
Yeah. So it's talking about, kind of our journey with Christ as being, like a race. It's a competition that we're in. And I mean, we're not competing against others, obviously. No. But what I really like, this verse 1, when it talks about so great a cloud of witnesses, obviously it's talking about those, people that they just mentioned in the previous verse, So if you think about it, as we're going through our walk, they're actually witnessing what we're going through. And I like to think, some of the Christians that I know that have passed on, are there with them, like I had a very godly grandmother, her sister, were so godly, and people I've gone to church with. There's a gentleman that I think of often, in this verse, that he ended up dying. He had Lou Gehrig's disease. Oh. But the man had such great faith. And I was fortunate enough, when he was, going through this, it was a time in my life when I was laid off from the job I had. And so I was able to go and spend time with him and like help him out getting stuff. He wanted to have stuff prepared for his wife, because he knew, what was going to happen. But he always lifted me up, even though he's going through this, he was such an encouragement to me. And you think of people like that, them looking down on us, as we go through these things. And obviously, all the great heroes of faith, cheering us on almost, and I mean, it's not something that you make, like some religions will like pray to like different saints and stuff, and I would never, never go there, but it's an encouragement to think of them as, looking down upon us and like cheering us on. And, that's something I always often think of when I read these verses.
Yeah, that's neat.
Verse 2, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. And that, more than anything, is where we're supposed to put our focus on, is Christ and what he, went through. We talked about it last time, about how the disciples, thought it a privilege, that they got to suffer for the name of Christ. And that's just something that, like I said, we've not had to deal with that where we live, but, never know what could happen in the future. And you have to always be prepared for that as you go through those walk. But always keep your eyes on Christ and what he went through. And it talks about how he is the Son of God, created everything, but he didn't think himself so great that he wouldn't humble himself for this. And we need to keep that in mind, that if our Savior, our God, can humble himself to go through that, what are we?
I think it's humbling, you list and moving that the list of the Hall of Faith, and you're going through all of them were, except for John, were killed.
I mean,
tortured, some cases,
right?
And you're looking at, like you said, and you're talking about Nigeria, and then you look at our United States, you're like, well, we're pretty good here. But it also, and I watched a podcast. I'll get the name for us maybe next time. He was a good fella, and I think he's a preacher. Long white beard, white hair, and he just sits on a stage and he answers the questions biblically. And there's questions about sin and dying in your sin, and he answers all these questions about the Christian faith. And I think that's when we're talking about running this is a comment about running the distance. Sorry. Let me get that where I'm going with it. And that's the thing that I have to tell myself. I think a lot of people probably are in similar straits throughout their life, is that if you're struggling with something, but you've given your life to Christ, you can be in and out of season, but you got to keep your faith on Christ.
Right.
It's salvation's offered you. He's offered it to you, so you take it, and it's there. It's right there. Never goes away. But I think so many people can get discouraged. I know I have, if you're struggling with something. And we all know what that looks like. It's not confessional time here. Well, let's get into it. But I'm just saying that these things can get you down. I mean, you can feel like, I'm out, man. But see, that's not what Christ offers us, because he wouldn't be Christ if that. And I think that's this race is run. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that it's run throughout our lives. Don't give up.
Right.
I mean, just don't give up. I mean, look to Christ, even if it's been a while or you were struggling. You look to Christ, and he's going to get you through. And that's what I got to keep saying myself over and over again. It's just really, I think that's a wonderful passage that applies so much to Christians living their lives, and especially in America and things, because there aren't maybe things that are overtly right now going to cause you harm, but it doesn't mean that people aren't struggling with some sins or sorrows or troubles in their lives.
Right.
And that struggle, and those Hall of Faith people, like you said, Kev, are looking down and saying, you can, don't let it discourage you, because the devil wants you to kind of go, oh, I'm done. That's it. Well, better just go on and do my thing now. But no, you're still Christ's. Just keep trying to follow him, and it'll be okay.
Exactly.
Just something that just struck me, man.
And that's why, I've always loved this verse, and I talked about it before, how to me it's like a pep talk.
Yeah.
And, when I feel weak in my faith, I'll go and read through this chapter. And, it always encourages me. And I love the fact that, how it ends with this cloud of witnesses, they're cheering us on and look to Christ. And
yeah, it's great, Kev.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So we'll move on from Hebrews now. We'll have something, Scott's working on something special for you for next time.
Gonna be 2 full chapters we read that time.
I think Scott's just going for a whole book. Busting out. Psalms, I think.
Yeah, I'm going for the whole.
Read it in one fall swoop.
I'm going for the big win.
Oh yeah.
This is really gonna bring him in to the pod.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's a little bit, apologetics and
Yeah, I love it.
just a little bit of that.
Yep. Good stuff.
Alrighty. Welcome back. You can't welcome back. We do the welcome back at the end. Just say, hey guys.
You just did.
Hey,
You just
hey guys.
Welcome back.
We have some Scott's news for today.
All right.
Yeah,
This day in history.
Yeah.
B's and D's.
Yep. Births and
That
deaths.
stands for births and deaths. People.
Classic. Everybody in the comments is always like, we're just here for the B's and D's.
B's and D's. And what day is it, Scott?
It's February 6th
Yeah.
today. Hopefully the weather is good. Out,
You're even throwing in the weather now.
yeah, out your door.
Yeah.
Out-
Well,
Could be.
February
Yeah.
6th, that's right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I bet it's a little, you're thinking it's getting good. Like you're starting to think it's feeling pretty nice. But next week,
I'm thinking.
you're in for a snowstorm.
Yeah.
I'm right.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
It's usually that
I
time
know
of year.
the one and only time I ever ordered Sherry's berries for your mom. She was working and I had them delivered to work. There was a giant snowstorm.
Really?
They did not get delivered.
That's why Scott was telling me. That's why he started ordering Melinda's Melinda's melons, and he said they get there. When they're supposed to get there.
Whoa.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That one wasn't thought
all
through.
right.
All right, never mind.
Sticking your foot in your mouth like your father.
Yeah. Did you have a joke with that one?
No, I don't think I can make any jokes about that.
No, it's pretty.
Yeah. I think if I do, it'll be worse. It'll be worse than the Melinda joke, man.
Melinda's joke. Oh boy.
So what do we got?
Could
Scott?
have been any other fruit. Kelly's kiwis would have made.
Well,
No, what?
it's dodgy.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Warren, we're looking for bursts now. A few bursts. How about Natalie Cole
Today.
Oh.
Cool.
Or is that a
King
death?
Cole.
Nope, that's a birth. 1950. Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Zsa Zsa.
Yeah. Ronnie Reagan. Or Ronald.
Yeah. I didn't know you guys were that close.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gipper.
The Gipper.
What year was the Gipper born?
Oh, that would be 1911.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Isn't that before Notre Dame?
I can't be that much before Notre Dame. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he said, wasn't that the movie? It was a Notre Dame movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's weak.
Was he the Gipper? Or did he want to win one for him?
He wanted to win one for the Gipper, right? Okay.
Oh, man. You call yourself
Well, somebody knows.
But they called him the Gipper.
Yeah,
That
that's
was his
true.
nickname.
Probably because he was in the film.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but he may have been.
Not the Gipper, probably.
Well, I meant when whoever said it may have not. He wasn't there, so he wasn't
Yeah.
there. Meaning He was still the Gipper. He just wasn't
the Gipper. Metaphorically, he was the Gipper.
Yeah, he was metaphorically the Gipper. Bob Marley.
Ooh, Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Big fan.
Yeah, he's cool.
Oh,
I love Bob.
He's just a Buffalo Soldier, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And how I know there's the good, there's, and then we have to talk about some of the, we'll say passings.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Carl Wilson, that would be one of your Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Arthur Ashe.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tennis player.
Yeah. Jack the King Kirby. Marvel and DC artist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great. One of my favorites.
That's pretty cool.
They call him Jack the King Kirby. And he went back and forth between Marvel and DC. Wow. Then he did his own stuff for a while, and then he went back. I mean, he was always he was awesome. Falco.
Hey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The old
singer Falco.
Yeah.
Rock me Amadeus.
Rock me Amadeus. Yeah.
I thought Falco wasn't he one of the villains in Batman?
Yeah, Falco.
He also did Der Kommissar.
Der Kommissar. Yeah. Kevin knows these things.
Oh, okay. I'm still stuck on the Batman thing. I think that might be wrong. I think there's an extra letter that I'm missing.
He was pretty young when he died.
Yeah, he was.
Well, if he wouldn't have been trying to wreak havoc on Gotham City,
that'll get you.
Bite you in the butt.
Every time.
That's the Penguin.
There's some others.
And many more.
Preceded in death by
Danny Thomas.
Hey.
Oh man, not Danny.
And then
he was an actor
little brother
back in the 60s, years before. Had a comment. The father of Marlo Thomas, who's married to Phil Donahue. She had a
this
TV
is
show.
A stretch. Okay.
This is a stretch. Now we're talking.
And I think Danny Thomas raised a lot of money for
he did
crippled children.
Yeah. Because Marlo's the spokesperson for St. Jude.
Disabled children.
Yeah.
Children with disabilities.
Yeah.
Gustav Klimt.
Oh.
I thought I'd throw maybe not as common, just for one, but he was a Austrian painter.
Okay. No, well, now that I know that.
He was the founder of the school of painting known as the Vienna Secession.
And I'm more familiar with the school of painting known as the Vienna Sausage.
Yes. Well, see, you have been influenced by it.
Yes. Yeah. I do think he is the one who birthed the Vienna Sausage movement.
Yes.
Well, when will you realize, though, that Vienna waits for you, Scott?
I don't know. Let me get back.
I appreciate that. We'll find out next week.
Well, in our previous podcast where we talked about football.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, one of our favorites.
Gabe's favorite. But there was a segment there that you liked a lot, though.
The end.
Yeah. When we came up with
the end,
the fantasy teams.
Are you trying to pretend like people voted on this?
No.
Okay.
I did this.
This
is my
me.
This is my.
Me.
I decided to try what would happen in a head-to-head matchup between Scott's Incredible Hovises, which I gave him the name, and
Hovises.
Caleb's
I love it.
Golden Bees.
Golden Bees.
How did you do this? How did you factor this? Did you help today? AI help you?
I went through and the Golden Bees.
I did a little investigating.
You did a little investigating.
I took what averages were for positions.
Okay.
I thought about.
This is insane.
I thought about the actors, not actors, but characters.
Characters. That's right. We had characters. Yeah.
And then based on that, I determined what a score they might achieve.
Oh, they would on the football field?
On the football
Ooh.
field.
This is I appreciate that you did this, but this feels like it's on the level of like an unhinged serial killer's manifesto.
It's probably up there. So,
That's why we need people out there to vote.
we started off with quarterbacks.
Yeah, or he's gonna slip into madness even further.
He's gonna.
This is
An
his
average-
telltale heart, ladies and
An
gentlemen.
average score for a quarterback is
Okay.
between 18 and 20. Scott's quarterback was Patrick Duffy from the man from Atlantis, which I honestly wasn't that familiar with. I looked into it a little bit, and he did have some
Aquatic capabilities.
very much so.
That doesn't seem like
Which would have,
that doesn't seem
been
like it
on
would
like the
translate to the
super.
football
Well, it
field.
would have been on like the superhero type
Yeah,
category.
that kind of-
However, on land,
like a fish out of water.
he didn't last too long. But given the fact that he had some abilities, I put him at the higher end of the average, and I gave him 20 points.
Oh wow, that's pretty.
So he had a pretty good day at quarterback, even though he had to spend a lot of
An
time.
average day.
He had to spend a lot of time in the tent, which they flooded whenever they were on defense.
Constant Gatorade showers.
Yeah.
And that's just to keep him going.
That's just keep him cool. Yep. Caleb had Lois and Clark's Superman,
Oh wow,
played by
Yeah.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
And we're talking about Superman being the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
went and looked up the highest point total any quarterback had ever had. And it was like 50 points. So Superman gets 52.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I like that.
Superman's going to do better than anybody else.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely.
At the onset, Caleb's out to a big lead from the get-go.
Oh yeah,
But
Huge.
But hang on, you got to wait till the end. All right, because we went through the whole thing. Running backs, Scott has Alex P. Keaton from Family Ties
Oh, slippery.
and the Bionic Man.
Fullback. He had two running backs. Yeah, because it's a fantasy type
And
stuff.
Caleb has the Flash
ooh, you
and
you just-
Mr. T.
Oh,
You
yeah,
aced it.
I went a little thunder
Yeah.
and lightning.
And so a running back averages between 15 and 18 points. Alex P. Keaton, I was generous and I gave him 10.
Daggone you, Keaton.
That's tough.
I knew I shouldn't have. But
But what about his?
I also looked up what the
brain.
highest
yeah,
amount of points for
Lee Majors
a running back was, and it was like 66, something like that. Bionic Man is going to top that, so he gets 68.
Oh well, that's good. I had a bad one, but a
good one.
Yeah, then you
And then Caleb has the Flash.
Oh
Which
gosh,
it's the Flash, so
Yeah.
he's also going to
yeah,
have
it's got to be
68.
way up there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
and probably the only thing stopping the Flash is the end zone.
And maybe
Oh,
not
that's
even that.
true.
Yeah.
He might be
And the Bionic
he
Man
might,
as well.
he might be Bo Jackson in it. He might be running through the
He
tunnel.
might be.
And the tunnel might be a tunnel he made himself.
as well as the Bionic Man. Same deal.
That's
there.
true, 'cause
You're
it'd be
not
hard
gonna
to
You're not
stop.
going to stop him. And then Mr. T.
Yeah, Mr. T. How'd he do?
I was thinking of Mr. T somewhere kind of in the category of a Derrick Henry type, although it was a little bit shorter. And I gave him a good game at 22 points.
Hey, that's
I think
pretty
he
good with
a pretty good game.
That's pretty good.
Well, that moves us on to the flex position,
Flex position.
where Scott has
No idea what I picked at the flex.
not the Incredible Hulk,
Oh no! I forgot about this.
but Bill Bixby
Bill Bixby as
as David Banner.
David Banner.
Well, I was thinking flex. He could flex into the Hulk.
But you didn't go
But I
there.
didn't go there, did I? So
You
never
just-
mind what I
You
just
just
said.
stopped before you flexed. But even so, he's still a pretty crafty guy.
Intelligent.
Smart,
Highly
intelligent.
intelligent.
Bruce Banner.
I
yeah,
gave him
yeah.
the higher end of the average, so he gets 14 points.
Hey, that's pretty
So he had a
generous.
pretty good day.
That's generous.
That's
for
fair.
him. Yeah.
Caleb went with AC Slater.
Ooh.
Oh.
Athletic young man, but he was a young man So he's on the low. He's on the lower end. He was in high school. He was a high school kid. So I gave him. He had a good day.
He had a good day.
I gave him 12.
Good day.
This is controversial.
He's
much more of an athlete.
In high school.
Much more of an athlete than a nuclear scientist.
Well,
he was out there on the road all the time, running for his life and stuff.
Have we reached an impasse now?
I don't know. I feel like this.
Well, he's got other. You already blew me out of the water with Superman. So
yeah, you better.
So we're moving on to our wide receivers.
If you come back because of what's going on right now,
Scott,
towards the end of this, I'm gonna.
Nah, something's wrong.
Yeah. Scott has Larry Hovis and Joan Collins.
Oh yeah, Joan Collins.
Caleb has Spider-Man.
Oh jeez, Caleb
and B. Arthur.
B. Arthur's she's got the sure hands.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. An average for a wide receiver between 10 and 14.
Okay.
Larry Hovis, not only an actor, he was a singer, and I think
But you're supposed to do as a character.
Yeah, what's his character? Yeah.
Carter,
yeah.
You're stretching
He was a character.
No, I should have said Carter.
Yeah. No,
Carter,
we knew what you were saying.
Oh,
we know what you were doing.
But
he's stretching this to favor you. You see what's happening here. Everybody sees what's happening.
You don't see anything.
You don't see anything.
But he was all the time doing stuff at the Stalag.
He was kind of
back. He was a pretty crafty guy.
Crafty,
pretty wiry. I gave him the higher end of the average. He gets 14 points.
Wow, that's not bad.
Thumbs up.
Joan Collins.
Yeah. Seductress. Yes.
Pretty slick,
Yeah, she's got good hands.
Oh my!
We set that up already. That's an old comment.
I threw her towards the upper end of the average, 13.
Okay, fair enough.
Caleb had Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
And so you're thinking, hey, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he can only shoot his web towards the goalpost. If he does along the sides, he's going to go out of bounds and be an illegal receiver. So he's still at the upper level.
He's got to be
he's still
because
at the upper level.
He's got those hands.
Yeah, he's at 13.
Okay.
And then B. Arthur. I mean, we know she's a big lady.
She is.
Strong, she's out there to get first downs.
Strong hands. B had a good day. She got 14.
Wow. Even.
I mean, I appreciate that B. Arthur got 14, but in what world does she get more than Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's limitations, he said, it goes out of bounds too much.
He was getting penalized.
B. Arthur's got big hands.
So that brings in the defenses.
I can't even.
They're not as nice as Jones, but
and a defensive average is between 7 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
10's what you start with.
Scott has SWAT.
Oh yeah, they're pretty.
And Caleb has night court.
Right. Well, you got Bull.
I forgot about that. I forgot that I had night court.
SWAT. They're a tactical unit. Strong guys. Well, great shape. I looked up what the highest all-time score for a defense was.
Okay.
And you'll be proud to know that it was.
Look at Caleb.
The Cleveland Browns once had like 45 points.
Cleveland Browns.
Hung it on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Right. And so
for me,
I thought SWAT's going to be pretty good. Not quite as good as the Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers, though, so I gave them 44.
Okay. Not quite.
I couldn't
quite as good.
I couldn't outdo that, especially
because you're Cleveland. Yeah.
Especially going against Steelers doing it. So I did.
Yeah, I got you.
Where is just couldn't do it.
Come on,
Caleb has the night court, and I'm thinking, you got Marky Post.
Oh yeah,
beautiful woman. I'm not sure how well she's going to be able to cover.
Distracting.
And
I think it's the same lane.
Yeah, but in the high heels, I don't think she'll be.
The high heels makes it more of a distraction.
Keeping up with people.
Yeah, because that's kind of like Joan Collins. I mean, she's got that. Yeah, like Marky.
Same ambiance.
Kind of idea.
And you got Bull. probably in the
gotta
middle.
be. Yeah,
he could stop a few.
I think Bull could.
And then Dan Larroquette, he might be outside, rusher and stuff. So they're gonna, and then the judge, maybe he's like
deep,
back,
deep free safety sort of.
Yeah,
but still none of these people are athletes, so they're
plus
probably going to end up getting about 6 points, just below the average.
I don't.
That's
know.
right. I mean, I could see them being low.
But Bull's pretty good.
Yeah, Bull.
All right, and then we're on to kickers.
All right.
Scott has MacGyver.
Crafty.
And Caleb, along the same lines, Inspector Gadget.
I forgot about that too.
Nice, Caleb. That's awesome.
I looked up the highest score for a kicker.
It could be weird.
And they...
It could be weird.
I think it was like 26, something like that.
Gosh, that's a lot.
Wow,
a lot.
Really?
But, I mean, you have MacGyver and Inspector Gadget, so, they're going to top that. So I gave MacGyver, since he's a real person, I gave him 30. And I was a little more stingy on... I've skipped something.
You're pretty stingy for most of it.
How I?
One could argue.
Anyway, Inspector Gadget got 29. So,
Hey.
locked in it. So that brings us to our final score. And Caleb held on just barely. 216 to 213.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's congratulations.
Thank you. I'm proud.
To top.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think Superman.
It was a good battle.
Superman's probably what did it.
I think
Superman put you over the top.
Yeah.
Superman
And then-
was awesome pick. I shouldn't have been so
And then throw it
carefree
in.
with
Devil,
my...
yeah, Devil May Care very, very much.
Throw it in Flash with Mr.
Yeah.
T.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
you know,
Flashes.
And the Keaton kind of hurt you a bit.
Yeah, that was another poor choice.
But yeah.
I like it. That's
It
fantastic.
was an exciting matchup. So Caleb's Golden Bees top Scott's Incredible Hovises 26 to 13.
Nice.
I love it. That's good stuff.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff.
How'd you fare? Did you
Oh,
look?
I didn't do mine. That wouldn't be fair to do my own.
Oh, do you want us to?
If you feel bled,
Oh,
you don't have to.
You think it's done?
I think he would have lost to both of our teams, so it wouldn't have mattered.
I don't know. I've got
No,
some
I ran the numbers just now.
I got
You
some
lost
people.
both.
I ran the numbers just now.
Oh,
I got some people in there.
Well, that was cool.
I'm gonna be a little stingy. You lost pretty hard both games.
Gonna be a little stingy. You lost.
I don't know how. Every single one of your players got negative points.
I don't know. About that.
How.
You got just below average on everything.
But then,
Are we saying though by presenting this now that the polls are closed?
No, people can still vote
Okay.
if they feel so led.
Yeah. Go back and watch it. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
I mean,
But don't let our numbers mean anything.
No,
You
no,
decide
I mean-
who the victor is.
you can decide on whatever criteria you want. I just thought I was
Football
going with
related.
actual football
Yeah.
related. You could go like, what's the funniest,
The funniest
of the
or-
two.
Best looking.
Oh, the best looking.
Best
yeah.
looking.
Yeah,
You could
do
go
that.
with the best actors.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You could go with who you think is the best football athletes.
Yeah.
Just sheer football playing
Straight up.
ability.
Yeah,
I'd-
that's
yeah.
good. Yeah, you could do all kinds.
You
of
could go with who you think could portray a football player in
I
film.
skipped. You know what? I just don't know. I think I skipped tight ends.
You did skip tight ends.
Huh.
I don't remember who my tight end even
I
was.
don't know.
Terry Crews.
One of you had Wolverine.
I think you had Wolverine.
Yeah, I had Wolverine. But what'd you have?
Could have had anybody. I don't remember. Is this?
I have it in here. If I go back and look.
This is good stuff. This is what they're.
Riveting.
Yep.
Riveting
Was it
television.
Bruce
People are
Lee?
still watching.
Was it Bruce Lee?
It wasn't. Yeah, this is good for. This is
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff people are begging for. The other day, I was on the internet and they're like, we don't have enough of
Yes,
I was
I
just
had,
the
guys in
other
their
day.
50s flipping through notebooks.
You know what? Yeah.
you had Helga G. Pataki.
Oh,
And Scott had Wolverine.
Nice.
yeah, those are two good, solid picks.
Yeah, that's
So you may have only won by like one, maybe.
Helga G. Pataki.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You think she's going to outscore Wolverine?
Wolverine's going to get more yards. I think we can guarantee that. But Helga, she got an ass for the end zone. And got an eye for the football.
Yeah. That's true.
So I've always said that about her.
I did leave that out. So.
That's all right.
But then I have this. Sometimes when this place gets kind of empty, sound of their breath fades with the light. I think about the loveless fascination under the Milky Way tonight.
Good night.
The Whatchagonnawannado podcast is brought to you by Scott Dog Productions and is made possible by viewers like you.